Hi guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane and makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I am bringing you my May update to the Fantasy Self project that I'm doing. So if you want to see the progress we made on my BYOP, then let's just go ahead and get on into it. So if you've not been following along with this project, I took inspiration from Laura Force and Haley Eyeshadows and their Future Self Showdown project that they did eons ago, where you make a BYOP with your fantasy self shades, which are just shades that you just never use. You've swatched them, but you don't wear them. You think that they're super, super pretty, but you don't use them and you can't seem to declutter them. So we had created a palette I did way back in January. I say we, but I did. I will bring you guys along for the next one we do. But it was in this ColourPop BYOP. And I did not set a goal for like usage on any of the shades. I just wanted to use them organically, see what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to declutter out of these. And we have progress. So I'm going to throw up a picture of what the palette originally looked like. Because, like I said, we got some things going on. Let me get out what belongs in here from this. None of these do. You do. And you do. Okay. I can get a smaller palette to set my declutters in, too. So that'll be nice. So this is what my palette looks like now. These are the only shades that I am currently working on. And we are just going to go over it. So out of the shades that were, because I did a bunch of declutters last update, which was fantastic. But we even have more declutters this update, which it's not great that I'm decluttering a bunch of single shadows that I either spent my money on or were decluttered to me by other friends, but I'm learning what I like in my collection, and that's a good thing. So, progress is progress. And some of these shadows, like this one here, are eons and eons and eons old. So we can just start with this guy. This is from Clarity Cosmetics. This is one of their way old shadows, back when they used to only do single shadows and they used to be the really, really big pans. This is the shade Cyclone. I'm decluttering this for the same reason I decluttered the Twin Peaks shade back in February. The texture is so bad. Again, this shade is probably 5, 6... It's old. It's so ungodly old. This is an expired, beyond expired shadow. I did use it once, just to see. I liked the color, but yeah, the texture, it's just bad. So I used that on the 9th of April, and decided, she gotta go. Another shade that I do have in front of me that's gotta go, this is Give Me Glow Baby Peach. So I used this twice because the first time I couldn't decide how I felt about it. So I did end up using it again, and on the 2nd of April, I decided I was decluttering this. Now, hear me out. Beautiful shade. It's just a great, it's basically my skin tone. It's a little lighter, but the peachiness, it's my skin tone. It's a great lid setting shade. The pigment, wonderful. My thing is, one, it's the big pans. It's a 3-gram pan of eyeshadow. I have lid setting shades in a million palettes. I don't need a single eyeshadow of a lid setting shade. I am coming to find out that I don't like matte singles. Because as much as I say, oh, I'm going to do a build your own palette, I'm not. I'm not that person. I'm not going to do that. And at the end of the day, if I want to do a build my own palette for some odd reason, I have ColourPop palettes galore that I can pull shades out of, and I have Natasha Denona palettes that I can pull shades out of, and I probably have a couple other random palettes that are also magnetic within my collection that I just don't want matte singles unless they're really nice. Again, we'll get to these in a second. But this is really, really nice. It's just not something I need. So I decided I'm decluttering that guy. What else got decluttered? I decluttered 2 other shades this update. Give Me Glow Fiesta, which was the one that shifted pink, I believe, and Give Me Glow Dragon's Blood, which was the one that shifted green. I used them both one time, and I decided to declutter them on the 24th of April. They're nice, but they're very foiled, and I'm also just finding that, like, a foiled metallic shifty shade is not my favorite. I'm learning what kind of textures I enjoy, what kind of shifts that I like. They were also kind of dark when it came to their shifts, and though they were absolutely stunning, they were beautiful on the eyes, and they were very pretty, I will say, and it's under everything I have over here because I'm wearing it today. My Bella Beaute Bar Basic Witch palette has a lot of these shifty shades that I just didn't feel like I needed to keep that. Either of those. So, and DW wanted them, so I was like, cool, sending them off. So, out of what's left in here, we have 4 mattes and 2 shimmers, and some of this stuff has been used. So that's fantastic. I have not used the yellow yet. That is Give Me Glow Sunny. Hasn't been used yet. I have not used the teal, which is that Give Me Glow? It is. That's Give Me Glow Brazilian Bikini, and I just have not used that yet. But I have used both of these browns one time. We have, which one's which? Okay, so we have Sydney Grace Bravo and Sydney Grace Relax. And I think I like them. I want to use both of those one more time to get my thoughts on them. Because I feel like I'm going to have the same opinion that I did on this shade, that I just don't need these browns in my collection. But the Sydney Grace mattes are so good. Like, I really like Give Me Glow shades, but I like the Sydney Grace mattes even more when it comes to singles. Like, there's just something about how buttery smooth they are that, like, I might just keep them because they're such a beautiful formula. Because they're already in my collection. If I like them, I'm allowed to keep them. But it has to be because they're either really pretty or absolutely exceptional. So I want to try them both one more time and see how I feel. I've still only used Celebration twice, but I know how I feel about the shade, so if I don't use that again before we make the new palette in July, I don't care. I know I like the shade, and I know it's very pretty. And then this is the shade Vibration from Intrigue Cosmetics. So when I'm looking at it, I see like a gray blue, and then you guys get that bright green. So we shall see how I feel about that. I used an Intrigue Cosmetics shimmer in a different project recently, and I hated it. Like, I hated the formula. So that doesn't mean I won't like that one, but, you know, food for thought. I didn't like the other one that I had, so it's not a super long update, but yeah, that's currently all we're working on. And I thought about moving this to a smaller palette, but, like, this is the palette for the project, so this is the palette it's going to stay in. But yeah, I would like to, by the next update, use these 3 shades one time, because I haven't used them yet, and we're, like, halfway through? Oh, we're more than halfway through. We're, like, 2/3 of the way through, and I still haven't even used those shades. So Because any unused shades, by the time we do our July refresh, they get just decluttered anyway, which isn't the end of the world. I have an unnecessary amount of single shadows for someone who forgets to use them all of the time. But yeah, that is going to do it for my fantasy self update for May. Let me know what you think. Your opinions, thoughts, comments, questions, anything, commentary down below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.